Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Abhineet Shukla, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring to you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. India offers great opportunities for investment in different sectors, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi after inaugurating Global Investor Summit in Lucknow. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates several infrastructure projects in Maharashtra, including 2 Vande Bharat trains. ISRO successfully launches SSLV-D2 carrying 3 satellites from Sriharikota. India take a lead of 144 runs against Australia on day 2 of first cricket test match of Border Gavaskar Trophy tournament in Nagpur. In Women's Cricket T20 World Cup, South Africa face Sri Lanka in the opening match at Newlands in Cape Town. And third edition of Khelo India Winter Games begin in Gulmarg, Jammu and Kashmir. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said there are great opportunities to invest in different sectors, including health, education, green growth and social infrastructure in India. Speaking after inaugurating the Uttar Pradesh Global Investor Summit 2023 in Lucknow on Friday, Mr. Modi said, as a market, India is now becoming seamless and government procedures are getting simplified. He said, it is also reflected in the union budget.
भारत अब सीमलेस हो रहा है, सरकारी प्रक्रियाएं भी सरल हो रही है कि आज भारत आउट ऑफ कंपल्सन नहीं बल्कि आउट ऑफ कन्विक्शन रिफॉर्म करता है.
The Prime Minister said, despite facing several global challenges, including COVID pandemic and Russia-Ukraine conflict, India became the fastest growing economy in the world. The Prime Minister highlighted the contribution of Uttar Pradesh to the country's growth. He asserted that Uttar Pradesh is now driving the growth of a new India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off 2 Vande Bharat trains in Mumbai on Friday. These trains will connect Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus to Solapur and Sainagar Shirdi. Speaking on the occasion, he said, Vande Bharat trains have brought a revolution in the railway sector and developed the craze among citizens to experience comfort.
आज पहली बार एक साथ 2 वंदे भारत ट्रेनें शुरू हुई है. ये वंदे भारत ट्रेनें मुंबई और पुणे जैसे देश के आर्थिक सेंटर्स को हमारे आस्था के बड़े केंद्रों से जोड़ेंगी.
Mr. Modi said, the service will benefit all the classes of people and boost tourism across the state. He added that the scenic view of the Sahyadris will be a moment of joy for all the passengers. Emphasizing that the Vande Bharat trains are a representation of the scale and speed of developing India, Mr. Modi said, the high-speed trains has so far connected 108 districts across 17 states. Our correspondent reports that Vande Bharat trains are India's fastest indigenous semi-high-speed train. The Vande Bharat Express can run up to a maximum speed of 160 km per hour and has better passenger amenities. It aims to provide a fast, comfortable and safe travel experience to the passengers. A product of the Make in India vision, the major systems of the train have been designed and built in India. Both the trains will have 2 AC executive class coaches and 14 AC chair car coaches. Reservations are now open at all the counters and via the website www.irctc.co.in. During the event, the Prime Minister also inaugurated the Santa Cruz-Chembur Link Road and Kurar Underpass that will ease road congestion in Mumbai. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has rejected the opposition allegation that food subsidy has been cut in the Union Budget 2023-24. Replying to the discussion on the budget in Lok Sabha on Friday, the minister said it has been almost doubled to 1.97 lakh crore rupees. Ms. Sitharaman also said that fertilizer subsidy has been raised to 2.25 lakh crore rupees for the current fiscal. She said the agriculture credit target for 2023-24 has also been increased to 20 lakh crore rupees.
In 22-23, that is this year, provision for fertilizer subsidy was about 1.05 lakh crores. In this budget, which is under consideration here in this parliament, this has been raised to 2.25 lakh crores.
The finance minister said, in this budget, the government has tried to balance the requirement of India's development imperatives within the limit of fiscal prudence. She said, By taking preemptive measures and also adhering to monetary policy decisions by the RBI, the government has been able to return to the realm of the tolerance band as defined by the RBI. The finance minister said that by taking these measures, the consumer price index came down to below 6% level. She said the new tax regime has been made very attractive. India's accreditation system under the Quality Council of India has been ranked 5th in the world. The Global Quality Infrastructure Index ranks the 184 economies across the world on the basis of the quality infrastructure. The accreditation helps establish the competence and credibility of conformity assessment bodies which perform testing, certification and inspection. Chairperson, Quality Council of India, Jakshay Shah has said that the government is committed to make Made in India a globally trusted brand on the foundations of quality and credibility. He said, this is the sign of a new India in the Amrit Kal with a quality of first approach. Talking to reporters in New Delhi on Friday, Joint Secretary, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Sanjeev said, India is endeavouring to reach the top position in the system of accreditation. India's Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, Hardeep Singh Puri, addressed the delegates of G20 Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group meeting in Bengaluru on Friday in virtual mode. In his initial remarks, the Union Minister expressed his solidarity with the people of Turkey in this moment of grief and said that India will continue to extend all possible humanitarian and medical support in this time of need. The minister noted that it is in the same spirit of global oneness as one family. G20 works with the theme of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam as reflected in its mascot, One Earth, One Family, One Future. Mr. Puri said that the Global South in particular looks up to G20 dialogue and desires an urgent consensus to prevent climate crisis and a debt crisis for the developing nations. Noting that India champions the aspirations of the Global South, the minister said that the Panchamrit Action Plan announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at COP26 in Glasgow envisages India becoming a net zero emissions country by 2070. He pointed out that India is the only developing country in the world which has declared such a short time span to become net zero. This demonstrates that India considers economy and ecology as being fundamentally intertwined and not at odds with each other. The minister noted that the three identified priority areas to be discussed in the working group are aligned with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Lifestyle for Environment, that is, LIFE concept. It works on mindful and deliberate utilization instead of mindless and destructive consumption in a bid to protect and preserve the environment. The minister said that the working group can adopt the core tenets of the LIFE movement and promote the uptake of sustainable living at a global scale. He hoped that the deliberations by the members will help build a bold, visionary roadmap that can be shared with the G20 leaders. The first tourism working group meeting organized at Dhordo in Gujarat as part of G20 concluded on Friday. On the last day of the meeting, international delegates visited Earthquake Memorial Smritivan at Bhuj and paid tribute to the people who died in the 2001 devastating earthquake in Kutch. The delegates were apprised of the science behind cyclones and earthquake and how Kutch succeeded in dealing with the natural calamities. During the 4-day meeting, the delegates deliberated upon the key issues pertaining to tourism and agreed to work together to achieve sustainable and resilient global tourism. Nearly 100 delegates from G20 nations, invited countries and international organizations took part in the meeting. The delegates also visited White Desert of Kutch and the iconic UNESCO World Heritage Indus Valley Civilization site of Dholavira. The Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO successfully launched the second developmental flight of the Small Satellite Launch Vehicle SSLV-D2 from Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh Friday morning.
Today, SSLV-D2 has placed the EOS-07 satellite in its intended orbit very accurately. Along with the EOS-07, 2 more satellites were also placed in the required orbits, JANUS-1 through NSIL and from the Antares, and ASADISat through InSpace realized by the Space Kids. So congratulations to all 3 satellite teams for making the satellites as well as placing in the right orbit, and I wish all the very best to the rest of the operations of the satellite for accomplishing their mission goals.
The launch took place at 9:18 a.m. The SSLV-D2 successfully put into their intended orbit Earth observation satellite JANUS-1 and Chennai-based space startup SpaceKits AzadiSat-2. The 34-meter-tall SSLV-D2 weighing 120 ton took off from the first launch pad of Satish Dhawan Space Center. The three-staged SSLV-D2 powered by solid fuel has a velocity trimming module powered by liquid fuel for precise injection of satellites. With this successful launch, India has got a new launch vehicle which was aimed to commercialize the small satellite launches through industry on demand basis. ISRO looks forward for catering to the increasing global need for launching smaller satellites into space. India's Minister of Communications Ashwini Vaishnaw will inaugurate the National Philatelic Exhibition Amritpex 2023 at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi on Saturday. This 5-day event, organized by the Department of Posts under the Ministry of Communications, will showcase India's rich culture, heritage and history through stamps. For the first time in the country, new technology like virtual reality, augmented reality has been used to showcase the cultural heritage, history, nature, wildlife by narrating the stories of stamps. An exhibition on the transformative journey of India Post will also be inaugurated on this occasion. People willing to participate in the event can book tickets through Book My Show website. In today's Hotspot section, we bring you a news commentary on International Year of Millets.
The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi's vision and initiative led to the United Nations declaring 2023 as the International Year of Millets, IYOM. The proposal of India was supported by more than 70 countries, and the United Nations General Assembly UNGA declared 2023 as the International Year of Millets on the 5th of March 2021. This will help to create awareness throughout the world about the importance of millets, its role in sustainable agriculture and its benefits as a smart and superfood. The Prime Minister conveyed his message at the opening ceremony of the International Year of Millets at the headquarters of the Food and Agricultural Organization in Rome, Italy on the 6th of December 2022, informing that millets are among the earliest crops grown by humans and have been an important source of nutrients. The Prime Minister emphasized making it a food choice for the future. Highlighting the challenges of food security, the Prime Minister mentioned the once-in-a-century pandemic and the arising conflicts around the world. He also touched upon how climate change is affecting food availability, marking that a global movement related to millets is an important step in the direction of food security. The Prime Minister informed that millets are easy to grow, climate resilient and drought resistant. He further added that millets are a rich source of balanced nutrition, compatible with natural ways of farming and need less water. The Prime Minister remarked millets are good for the consumer, cultivator and climate. Stressing the need for diversity on the land and at the dining table, the Prime Minister informed that our health is impacted if agriculture becomes monoculture and pointed out that millets are a good way to increase agricultural and dietary diversity. While concluding his message, the Prime Minister touched upon raising awareness to create millet mindfulness and highlighted the tremendous role that institutions and individuals can play. He added that while institutional mechanisms can encourage the production of millets and make it profitable via policy initiatives, individuals can make health-conscious and planet-friendly choices by making millets a part of their diet. The Government of India has decided to celebrate IYOM 2023 by making it a people's movement so that Indian millets, recipes, value-added products are accepted globally. The Department of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare has taken a proactive multi-stakeholder engagement approach, engaging all the central government ministries, states, union territories, farmers, startups, exporters, retail businesses, hotels and Indian embassies to achieve the aim of IYOM 2023 and taking Indian millets globally. Ministries, states and Indian embassies have been allocated focused months in 2023 to carry out various activities for promotion of IYOM and increase awareness about benefits of millets for the consumer, cultivator and climate. In the 97th episode of Mann Ki Baat, broadcast on the 29th of January 2023, the Prime Minister spoke about people adopting millets on a large scale. K.V. Rama Subba Reddy, a resident of Andhra Pradesh, and Sharmila Oswal from Maharashtra found mention for their contribution in making millets a way of life. The Millet Man of India, Dr. Khader Valli, has been conferred with the Padma Shri for distinguished service in the field of science and engineering, announced during the Republic Day celebrations this year. Millets have been an integral part of our diet for centuries from the time of the Indus Valley civilization. Today, India is poised to become the global hub for millets with a production of more than 170 lakh tons, that is about 80% of the produce in Asia. It is grown in about 131 countries and is the traditional food for around 60 crore people in Asia and Africa. Millets are also an integral part of the G20 meetings, during which the delegates will receive an experience through tasting, meeting farmers and interactive sessions with startups and farmer producer organizations.
India's Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan, has hailed the Jaffna Cultural Centre as an iconic centre. Speaking to the media in Jaffna, he said that the centre is fully funded by India through a grant.
In this historical Jaffna Cultural Center is foundation stone laid by our Prime Minister when he came here in Jaffna 2015 March. The first Prime Minister of India to visit this Jaffna area, that was the very historical event. So that time our Prime Minister laid foundation stone for this cultural center.
Dr. Murugan noted that under India's Neighbourhood First policy, India has helped Sri Lanka through various projects. He highlighted India's role through development cooperation with Indian Housing Project, railway projects, redevelopment or construction of schools and renovation of historic Thirukattiswaram temple. The minister said that to improve connectivity between the two countries, initiatives like resumption of flights between Jaffna and Chennai have been undertaken. He also mentioned that ferry services between Karaikal and Kankesanturai will start soon.
Yes, for the connectivity, I already mentioned that yesterday I came from Chennai to Jaffna flight only. This flight service 2017 is launched, then due to the corona is terminated. Again it is resumed the service, in that service I came. And Kankesanturai to Karaikal, there is a proposal to ferry service going to connect to the India. That is also they are working on this.
Recalling the Indian assistance of $4 billion during the economic crisis and the financing assurances given to IMF, Dr. Murugan said that India continues to stand by Sri Lanka. This is All India Radio giving you the world news. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met the Deputy Prime Minister of Mauritius, Stephen Obigato, Friday evening. They discussed various facets of India-Mauritius bilateral relationship, including tourism and development cooperation. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said he values the participation of Mauritius in G20 meetings during India's presidency. The 11th meeting of India-Mongolia Joint Working Group was held in New Delhi on Friday. Both the sides reviewed the progress on various bilateral defense cooperation initiatives and identified means to further enhance the existing areas of cooperation and articulated steps in this direction. During the meeting, both the sides expressed satisfaction at the ongoing defense cooperation between the two countries despite the limitations imposed by COVID-19 pandemic. Co-chaired by Joint Secretary of Ministry of Defence, Dr. Ajay Kumar, and State Secretary of the Ministry of Defence Mongolia, Brigadier General Gangkhoya Davagdoj, the Joint Working Group met for the first time in person since the pandemic. Both the sides acknowledged the growing ties between the countries. Our correspondent reports that India established diplomatic relations with Mongolia in 1955. The Indian Resident Mission in Ulaanbaatar was opened in 1971. This relationship was upgraded to strategic partnership in 2015 when Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Mongolia and declared it as an essential component of Act East policy. More than 22,000 people have been killed by the massive earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria. The 7.8 magnitude quake struck the region early Monday. Turkey President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said death toll in the country has risen to 19,388. He said that 77,711 people have been injured. The number of deaths in neighboring Syria has been put at 3,377, giving a combined death toll of 22,765. Agencies and rescue workers have warned that the figures are likely to rise with many people still trapped under the rubble. Extreme cold weather is hampering rescue efforts to search for survivors of deadly earthquake. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that in this critical time, India stands firmly with the people of Turkey. Mr. Modi said that India will keep trying to save maximum lives under the Operation Dost. Responding to a tweet by External Affairs Ministry regarding the role that Indian team is playing in Turkey, the Prime Minister tweeted that the Indian teams are working day and night as a part of Operation Dost. He said they will keep giving their best to ensure maximum lives and property are saved. The World Government Summit 2023 is set to begin on February 13th in Dubai. The summit will be held under the theme of Shaping Future Governments. It will bring together global thought leaders, global experts and decision makers to share and contribute to the development of tools, policies and models that will be critical in shaping future governments. The summit will feature 20 presidents, including Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, President of the Republic of Turkey Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President of Senegal and Chairperson of the African Union Macky Sall, among others. This year's edition will bring together over 250 ministers from around the world, as well as over 10,000 government officials, thought leaders and global experts. The sessions and forums will be enriched by over 80 international, regional and governmental organizations. The World Government Summit is a global forum held annually in Dubai that brings together leaders in government, business, technology and civil society to discuss pressing issues facing humanity and to shape the future of governments worldwide. And now, a report from the business world.
Sensex declined by 123 points, 0.2% to finish at 60,683. Nifty 50 also fell by 37 points, 0.2% to settle at 17,856. Among global stock markets, Asian shares ended mixed today. Japan's Nikkei 225 rose by 0.3%. On the other hand, Hong Kong's Hang Seng slipped by 2%. South Korea's Kospi fell 0.5%, and China's Shanghai Composite Index declined 0.3%. Singapore's Straits Times Index ended flat. European shares were down in intraday trade. Oil prices jumped about 2% as Russia announced plans to reduce oil production next month after the West imposed price caps on the country's oil and oil products. In intraday trade, Brent crude was trading at $86.31 per barrel. Back home at the foreign exchange market, the rupee strengthened by 1 paise against the US dollar to close at 82 rupees and 50 paise against the US dollar. At the multi-commodity exchange, gold futures for April was trading at 56,697 rupees per 10 grams. Silver futures for March was trading at 66,823 rupees per kilogram when reports last came in. Arjun Chaudhary for World News, All India Radio.
The cruise members of the world's longest river cruise, Ganga Vilas, spent the 32nd day of their journey in seeing some of the historic places in Dhaka and nearby areas on Friday. After arriving at Narayanganj early evening on Thursday from Barisal, the tourists stayed on the ship overnight. On Friday, they visited the ruins of Panam city near Sonargaon, which was the capital city of Bengal in the 15th century. The double-storied buildings existing in the Panam city in current times are from the 19th century. The two-storied ruins of Panam city reflects the influence of the European architectural style. Panam city attracts a large number of tourists on a regular basis. The tourists also visited the Sonargaon Folk Museum to see the centuries-old statues, wood sculptures and other artifacts, giving them a glimpse into the culture and heritage of the country and the region. At the 16th century Goldi Mosque in Sonargaon, the cruise members experienced the specialized architecture of the mosque. In cricket, Rohit Sharma's 120, along with 66 and 52 runs from Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel respectively, helped India continue their dominance on the second day as well. India were 321 for 7 at stumps in their first innings, with a lead of 144 runs over the guests in the first test of the 4-match series of Border Gavaskar Trophy tournament in Nagpur. Earlier, Australia skipper Pat Cummins had won the toss and opted to bat first. Jadeja's 5-wicket haul helped India bundle out the guests for 177. The Women's Cricket T20 World Cup has begun at Newlands in Cape Town. The home team South Africa is facing Sri Lanka in the opening match. 10 teams have been divided into 2 groups. Group A consists of South Africa, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Australia and New Zealand, while Group B has India, England, Pakistan, Ireland and West Indies. 2 matches will be played on Saturday. In Group B at 6:30 p.m., West Indies will take on England. Australia and New Zealand meet at 10:30 p.m. India would take on arch-rivals Pakistan in their first match at Newlands, Cape Town on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. The third edition of Khelo India Winter Games began at Gulmarg in Baramulla district of Jammu and Kashmir on Friday. Union Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur declared the games open. Over 1,500 sportspersons from across the country will be participating in 9 different winter sports disciplines during the next 5 days. Jammu and Kashmir holds the distinction of having topped in both the editions of the Khelo India Winter Games held so far. Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The Guardian writes UK accused of dangerous whitewash over Bahrain human rights abuses. The Globe and Mail reports Moldova's Prime Minister resigns. Government collapses as country grapples with multiple crises. The Financial Times reports Japan expected to name Kazuo Ueda as the next central bank head. The Washington Post says Romania says Russian missile flew over Moldova just outside NATO airspace. The Japan Times writes North Korea unveils apparent new ICBM in nighttime military parade. Le Monde reports Mali, Guinea and Burkina Faso request to rejoin regional blocs. And the Straits Times writes Singapore to host World Aquatics Championships in 2025 after Russia stripped of the event. Women and Child Development Ministry will hold a 2-day inception meeting of G20 Empowered Group at Agra in Uttar Pradesh from Saturday. The G20 Empower 2023 under India's presidency is prioritizing the shift from women's development to women-led development. It aims to transform challenges into opportunities and greater inclusion of women in the workforce. The G20 Alliance for the Empowerment and Progression of Women's Economic Representation, that is Empower, is an alliance of G20 business leaders and governments that aim to accelerate women's leadership and empowerment in the private sector. The ministry said, India's G20 presidency is inclusive, equitable, ambitious, decisive and action-oriented, pushing forward transformative changes for women's economic empowerment. During the meeting, India will welcome women leaders from G20 nations, guest countries, international organizations and private sector. A quick look at the headlines once again. India offers great opportunities for investment in different sectors, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi after inaugurating Global Investors Summit in Lucknow. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates several infrastructure projects in Maharashtra, including 2 Vande Bharat trains. ISRO successfully launches SSLV-D2 carrying 3 satellites from Sriharikota. India take a lead of 144 runs against Australia on day 2 of first cricket test match of Border Gavaskar Trophy tournament in Nagpur. In Women's Cricket T20 World Cup, South Africa faced Sri Lanka in the opening match at Newlands in Cape Town. And third edition of Khelo India Winter Games begin in Gulmarg, Jammu and Kashmir. And now, before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan Vaishnav Jan by artists from UAE.
वैष्णव जन तो तैन कहिए जे पीजे पराई जाने रे पर दुख उपकार करे तो ये मन अपना आने रे वैष्णव जन तो तैन कहिए जे पराई जाने रे
And with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.